Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining me. This is the morning market review with myself, Russell Shaw. I'm a senior market specialist at FXCM. Today is Wednesday, it's the 6th of March, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up our disclaimers. Start off with the high risk investment warning. I'll keep this on screen for a few moments. If you can just have a read through that. I'll keep this on screen for a few moments. Just bear with me, and then I'm going to bring up our market commentaries disclaimer. Hey, Kim, good morning. Good morning, Raj. A pleasure to have both of you on the webinar with a live stream as always. All right, let's just go ahead, bring up the market commentaries disclaimer. All right, I'll leave this on screen another 3 seconds or so. Okay, excellent. Okay, here is the Hey Anna, good morning to you. Welcome. Here is the real rate. Okay, so we took a look at this yesterday. Nothing really further to add, but it's just worth keeping up to date with it. It does look as if we're getting the reversal in, right? So here's the reference candle reversal. It's bearish reference candle reversal. It looks like it is moving down. Let's take a look, see what's happening with the US dollar, given the fact that the real rate is moving down. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just click on the plus button here. And let's go ahead and bring up US dollar, put it in a window underneath or a pane underneath, and let's just see if the dollar is being affected by the real rate that's moving down. And we do have some movement here. Let's just bring that in with an arrow. So I would say here is the reference candle, and we're going to be quite strict here. We're going to take a look at this particular low, and we want the dollar to cross below this low over here. Let's just make this a better color. There we go. So we have some red. It does look as if the dollar is coming down here, and if it goes below the green horizontal, then we of course do have a potential reference candle reversal that we are hey Indran, good morning to you. Can you guys just confirm that the sound is okay? Sound is very bad. I'm going to turn the camera off. How's the sound now, guys? Can you confirm that the sound's okay with the camera off? How's the sound now? Just let me know. If the sound carries on being bad, then what I'll do, so I'm at the office, which it's better, okay, which maybe has a different bandwidth. Okay, let's keep it as this. All right, what we're looking for here, let's just reiterate, we're looking for a reference candle reversal in the real rate, and we're looking for a potential reference candle reversal in the dollar. Now, Kim made the point, I think it may have been a week, may have been 2 weeks ago, that we are moving sort of laterally with the US dollar. It doesn't look like we've got much volatility, but now potentially that's picking up with the US dollar. Let's see if it closes below the low of the candle from 2 weeks back. Okay, let's go through to the dollar, but on a daily basis. I'm going to share that with you here. I want to zoom in. Okay, so you can see here the dollar has pushed into zone 3. So it does look as if we're getting the dollar starting to pull down. Okay, it does look as if the dollar is starting to come down. And what about the RSI? The RSI is starting to push below 50. Okay, now let's just talk about Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. Okay, Powell is going to have a 2-day tour of Capitol Hill. Okay, it's very interesting. I've been doing the live streams from home. We don't have as bad a quality when I'm at home. I'm at the office now, which should have a better bandwidth. It's very interesting. From tomorrow, I'll do the live streams with a better bandwidth. Okay, so I apologize. All right, so we got Fed Chair Jerome Powell testifying on Capitol Hill today and tomorrow. And today he's going to be in front of the House Financial Services Committee. Tomorrow he's going to be in front of the Senate Banking Committee. And it's highly unlikely, or at least investors shouldn't expect Powell to be as dovish as he was back in December. yeah, you're right. All right. So the idea is, okay, there is going to be a testimony by the Fed chair in front of senators on Capitol Hill. I want to reiterate today he's going to be in front of the House Financial Services Committee. Tomorrow he's going to be in front of the Senate Banking Committee, and it's highly unlikely that he's going to be dovish. He's going to say it is probably prudent to stay higher for longer. And if that is what he's going to say, then I want to go back and watch the implications on the real rate. Because if the comments from Jerome Powell influence the real rate, then it's quite likely that they're going to influence the US dollar. So just be very, very cognizant of the fact that there's going to be a testimony in Capitol Hill today. And the time that the testimony is going to begin is going to be 5 p.m. ZA, 3 p.m. UK. 3 p.m. UK. So just be aware of that, because it is potentially going to influence the way the dollar is going. Now let's just go back to the daily chart, and with here we go. With the way it's looking technically slipped into zone 3. With the testimony on Capitol Hill, the question now is it going to remain in zone 3, or is it going to move back? Is it going to move back into zone 2, right? So just be aware. At the moment, it is in zone 3, and we do have a bearish RSI. And if that's the case, let's just go down to the hourly chart here and see what's happening on the US dollar hourly chart. All right, so here is the hourly chart. And what we do have here is a bearish cross. Here's trigger 1. Here's trigger 1. Here's trigger 2. So it does look like the US dollar is starting to come down. Now, if it moves into the lower quintile zone, then I think we're going to have a swing on our hands. So just bear that in motion. It does look as if we've got the dual triggers now in motion. It now is all about the momentum. We do have this we do have this support over here. Let's just bring up the support. The question is the support going to hold? That's going to be a function of the testimony on Capitol Hill. So just bear that in mind. Okay, so the market at the moment, just unsure of if the dollar should be pushed down lower. Now, if Jerome Powell does come in and he says inflation's moderating and we probably at the apex or the height of our rate cycle, and we will have rate cuts for this year, and he surprises the market with some sort of dovish comments, then we will be heading towards that lower quintile. Now, if we're going towards that lower quintile, and if the support level folds, well, let's go and see what's happening on. I want to take a look at gold first. So let's go bring up gold, which has been on our watch list. So I'm going to go through to gold on the daily chart. I'm just bringing that up. Bear with me for one moment. Guys, how's the sound? Can you just confirm the sound with me? Is the sound okay? All right, here is gold. Okay, so gold is moving in the zone 1. That's between the upper blue, upper red bands. You can see that the expansion in volatility is very much apparent. There is a. Okay, I hear you, guys. Well, I'll do the live stream from my house tomorrow. Okay, I'll do the live stream from my house tomorrow. The problem with gold is that it's overbought on the daily chart. However, let's just go down to the hourly. Let's just see what's happening on the hourly chart here. All right. So this is gold, and what I want to see here, if we get a bullish crossover here, so there's a potential crossover. If it does cross over and we get that angle and separation, and if we get the stochastic pushing towards the upper quintile, then I think the dollar does come down. And if the dollar comes down, gold's heading up. What's going to be happening, say, to the euro or to cable? Let's go ahead and take a look at, say, euro and cable. So let's just understand, potentially dollar coming down. That's the key. Now, the underlying fundamental is, does Powell's testimony keep the dollar on a downwards trajectory or an upwards trajectory? Remember, 5 p.m. ZA, 3 p.m. UK. At the moment, it looks like the dollar is coming down. At the same time, it looks as if gold's moving up. Let's take a look and see what's happening on euro side. Okay, take a look at euro. Very, very interesting here, in that we've got trigger 1. We've got trigger 2. So that's encouraging, right? So it looks like we've got potential triggers that have been pulled. Are we going to get a swing here? It all depends if our stochastic makes its way to the upper quintile. And that's very much, again, I'm just sounding like a record now, but it's a broken record. But it really is going to be dependent on Chair Powell's testimony. But we do have the triggers. Let's take a look at cable to see what's happening on the cable side of things. Okay, here's cable. Trigger 1. Trigger 2. Okay, so again, we've got the triggers. They've pulled in our favor, assuming, of course, that one is going with the trends, okay, and not counter trend trading. So, and if trend trading is going to work in our favor, well, we're going to have to get pound moving into the upper quintile. And once it moves into the upper quintile, it's going to have to hold. Okay. And if we get that, so it would be something like this. If we get a movement up where it goes into the upper quintile and holds, then we get a beautiful swing. Okay. So we do have the triggers that are being pulled. That's exciting. But we've got, of course, that testimony to get through. Let's take a look and see what's happening on the stock markets, because the stock markets are slightly different. Okay. Yeah, and we do have these. Remember, though, we're on the hourly here, so we're very close to price action. What we want to see, Raj, is those reference candles on, say, the daily and the weekly, and if we get those, I think those hold. Here's the reference candles, right? And but the triggers here to me are super exciting. Let's just go through to SPX 500, and then let's take a look at RSP. Okay. Sorry, I want to do it on the hourly. I want to go back to the weekly here. Go to SPX 500. Let's just go to the weekly and do now. SPX 500, we know is overbought. So here it is. And you can see we're actually getting a bit of red coming in here. And I think that we've got to be cognizant of the fact that we're still overbought. And I just wonder when this is going to correct. Let's just take a look at this on a daily basis. Okay, it's not quite as bad, but it is overbought on the weekly basis. Now, there's something that we have to acknowledge here on the stock market side of things as well. Just before we go through to RSP, just know this, okay, that there is an overbought condition, and it looks as if it's applying a pressure to stocks, and it's happening at a time when earnings season is starting to slow. And if the earnings are not going to be driving the stock market, then the economy and interest rates become front and center once again. Okay, so and we know that the stock market hasn't quite been following the interest rate cycle. It's been following the earnings cycle that we've spoken about. That it might come into effect via this overbought condition. I hope that makes sense. If you need further explanation there, let me know. But the idea here is that the earnings were really driving the market. That's starting to slow down. What's going to happen now that we've got this overbought condition? Let's just take a look at RSP. Okay, so this is ETF. And this is line studies that we drew in previously, in that a pushback down and then looking for a dip in an uptrend wouldn't be all that bad here. Well, whilst we're not overbought on RSP, so to speak, it's tending towards that overbought condition. In other words, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some sort of pullback here. Let's just see what's happening on the daily chart with RSP. Okay, not overbought either. Okay, it's looking a lot healthier than that SPX 500, but I think that SPX 500 might start battling now that we're coming sort of to the end of earnings season. Okay. Are there any questions? Let's just take a look at the DAX. Here the DAX is looking to open. We've just gone on to the top of the hour, so the cash market will be open. Let's just see how the DAX is trading. So I'm going to go through to the daily chart. All right. So you can see we are kind of at this overbought. We were overbought. Then we had 2 days of pullback. That's corrected. We're still quite hot here, though. And I think if we just go through to the weekly chart here, We're still overbought on the weekly chart. Okay. Let's go back to the daily. All right. So there has been some sort of moderation. So you can see 1, 2, 2, 3. Let's just go down to the hourly chart, see what's potential signals are taking place on the hourly chart. Okay, it looks as if we're going to have some pressure. It looks as if we're starting the day under pressure. So this is the DAX hourly, and it does look a bit heavy. Okay, looks like we're getting a crossover to the downside. Stochastic has already crossed. So I think that the stock markets, we may be getting closer to that normalization in the overbought conditions because we're getting to the end of earnings season. So I just wanted to bring that up. All right, that's as far as we'll go today. Are there any questions? Please go ahead and type those in. Apologize for the quality. Hoping tomorrow would be better. So my apologies there. If you found this useful, despite the technical issues, go ahead and click on that boost button, but only if you found it useful. Otherwise, I want to wish you a good day and a good evening ahead, and we shall do it all again tomorrow, and I'll endeavor to make sure that the quality is better tomorrow. Thank you very much, guys.